आखिर में हमारे कंटेस्टेंट हैं अशर सईद, 1992 के ग्रेजुएट हैं और इस वक्त HR को हेड कर रहे हैं लकी में. He is headed HR in more than 3 banks and in more than 3 countries in various companies. शेर व शायरी से इनका बहुत इलाका है, वैसे भी अदबी खानवादे से ताल्लुक़ है और इनके बारे में जो दोस्तों की राय इनके बारे में है वो है कि बहुत पैशनेट हैं चीज़ों के बारे में और लिटरेचर के बारे में पैशनेट हैं, शायरी के बारे में पैशनेट हैं और एक और चीज़ क्रिकेट के बारे में बहुत पैशनेट हैं और बहुत हेल्पफुल हैं. सो विद दैट ओवर टू अशर.
Thank you very much. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you to IBA for organizing this. Thank you all of you for coming over and showing your interest and involvement and passion of what we all are standing here for. Before I move into the manifesto bit, and I know we have time restrictions, I would like to tell you that why I decided to run for this particular role. And the reason was the input from my friends. They said that this is the time that IBA needs to reinvent itself. IBA needs to reposition itself, and they thought, and I also believe that where I stand in my life and career right now, I was rightly positioned to take this plunge and chip in with my bit. So that is the idea. All of you must be applauded and commended, and all who are taking interest, all who registered themselves, which was a condition for quite a bit of time कि आपको वोट डालने के लिए रजिस्टर कराना ज़रूरी है. So people are taking interest, they have shown involvement, and I think credit goes to all the people who are sitting here on the stage who announced themselves as contestants. The kind of activity, the kind of spirit and involvement that has been generated in this particular election, I am not a witness to it from last 30 years. So I think IBA has already come of age, and that's commendable on part of all alumni who are doing it this time. And we will inshallah see a much bigger turnout than what it used to be. Having said that, as I said, I find myself positioned. Also the fact, I think, and I'll pick up on something, by the way, all of us, or most of us, were in Lahore. Lahore Alumni chapter organized a reunion, and there we also got an opportunity to present our agenda and talk about this campaign. There the chief guest, Dr. Amjad Saqib, actually came up with a very inspiring speech, and I'll just pick up a few things from his speech. And he said कि ज़िंदगी में एक वक्त, we are all accomplished people sitting here. We have all really developed in our lives. IBA has a major role to play in that, and he advised, and I took that advice, that we need to get out of ourselves and step out and then contribute back to the society. I think all of us who are sitting here have this thing in mind कि अब हमको अपनी ज़ात के हिसार से बाहर निकल के और अब कुछ वापस देना है उस इदारे को जिस इदारे से हमने इतना हासिल किया, which has honored us that we are sitting here in the capacity to represent its board. तो ये हमारे लिए I think बड़ी अच्छी उनकी एडवाइस थी जो मैंने उस दिन हासिल की, और I think हम सबको we need to do that. This reminds me of मलाहत ने तारुफ कराते हुए ये कहा कि जी इनका शेर व शायरी में बड़ा इंटरेस्ट है, तो I think I need to live up to that. फराज ने कहा था कि खुद को यूं महसूर कर बैठा हूं अपनी ज़ात में, मंजिलें चारों तरफ हैं रास्ता कोई नहीं. So we really need to get out of it. Coming to my own exposure in last 30 years, 3 decades, many countries, 3 continents, many organizations, thousands of interviews, I think that all equip me to come back to my alma mater and chip in with my bit to contribute in terms of mentoring of students. When I interview them, and when lots of my colleagues and my batchmates and my seniors and my juniors interview them, we find out some lacunas. It's not that IBA's product is of inferior quality, but yes, there is a lot of area of improvement. And there we feel, and I feel I can contribute a lot, because HR, as an career HR professional, HR's main role is to come up with a culture. And that culture, we have to produce or we have to build an IBA as well. IBA is an institution already, but we need to reinforce the legacy of IBA. IBA has a great legacy. The kind of graduates who have come out over the years, they are sitting on global roles. They have headed this country as well, but we need to reinforce this legacy. We need to build on it further. And I think we need to start from culture. Being a HR professional, I think that is one area we need to work on. Then when we talk about board, and my colleagues also said that, when you talk about board is not about execution. Board is about strategy. So board will come up with the strategies. Those strategies will be given over to the executive director, and who with the help of the team will execute them in the best interest of this institution. So basically it's about coming up with a strategy related to culture, related to the recruitment, related to the development of people at IBA, the development of students in the right direction, so that they can go out and contribute not only to the economy but to the country as well. So that's going to be when I talk about my manifesto related to institution, it's about reinforcing the legacy of IBA from the perspective of culture, from the perspective of policy formulation, from the perspective of strategy. Then we come to students. The students need to be introduced to a better curriculum. There is always room of improvement. They need to be introduced to this culture of developing a startup mindset, an entrepreneurial mindset, because that's, as I keep saying, that's the next big thing. If Pakistan has to reach anywhere, this startup culture has to grow. And that will be inculcated by no one else other than institutions like IBA being center of excellence.
Your 5 minutes are up, so you need to wrap up.
All right. Then we come to the alumni. Alumni is the heart of IBA. All of you sitting here who have taken time out and who are listening right now, they are going to take this institute to the next level, because they have a huge contribution. They are the ones who are keeping IBA flag high. So what do we need to do for them? We need to facilitate them in terms of all that they get in touch with IBA for. We need to acknowledge and appreciate them. Unfortunately, in this part of the world where we live, we do not have a culture of appreciation and acknowledgement. हमारे लिए बड़ा मुश्किल होता है. It doesn't really come naturally to us. किसी की तारीफ करना में हम रुक जाते हैं. तो IBA needs to institute and IBA awards. IBA needs to institute, as my colleague said, IBA Alumni Association, wherein we need to acknowledge and appreciate and recognize these individuals who have really gone a long way in building the name of this institution. So these were a few of my submissions that and in the last thing which I would like to say, when I started off, Suhail also started off pretty early in this campaign, and I believe I also started off pretty early. The kind of overwhelming response that I received, the kind of input that I received, I was really overwhelmed. I was really honored as well. I never thought of, when I was starting off on this journey, कि इतना कोई अच्छा response, कि इतनी involvement generate हो जाएगी. But I think it all happened. A lot of people helped me. A lot of people guided me. And एक डिसएडवांटेज जो हमेशा आखिरी बोलने वाले को होता है, वो ये होता है कि उसके पास बोलने के लिए ज़्यादा कुछ बच नहीं पाता. वो काफ़ी पहले वाले साथी बोल चुके होते हैं. दूसरी चीज़, शायद शफीक साहब अगर आज होते तो मैं सीनियर मोस्ट ना होता यहाँ पर. बट एनीवे, दैट वर्क्स फॉर मी perhaps. So thank you very much. I think, and I'll end as Malhat said, poetry is very close to my heart, कि मैं अकेला ही चला था जाने पे मंजिल, मगर लोग आते गए और कारवां बनता गया. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ashaar. Thank you.